כל השונה הלכות בכל יום מובטח לו שהוא בן העולם הבא. בעזרת השם, today we're doing the mitzvot of the Oraita. As we're back in the yeshiva at Shalom Bayit. If you want to have a lot of Shalom Bayit, send your husband to learn in Bet Midrash, and you'll have plenty of Shalom Bayit. The mitzvot today are sponsored by Asaf Bahar, Leulun Nishmat, his mother Rivka Bat Mas'uda. Ruh Hashem Telahem Bagenev Bezat Hashem. And Bezat Hashem also Lefuah Shemani Kol HaMisraelu Bechlalam Lechaya Bat Leah. The first mitzvah is going to be discussed today, mitzvah number 97. We must arrange the bread on the shulchan in Beit HaMikdash, as it says, V'natata al shulchan lechem panim tamid. Mitzvah number 98, it says, light the menorah in Beit HaMikdash, as it says over there, Yaroch oto Aaron ubanav. Alright, so let's start today. B'ezat Hashem, ready? You guys, you have seatbelts on? B'chaim, B'ezat Hashem, everybody's here. Good. Mitzvah number Tzadik Zayin, 97. Mitzvah seder lechem hapanim ulebona. So you have melechem hapanim. What is talking about here? We're talking about a bread that was made in the Beit HaMikdash in a certain form that it was only one family was not just fit. The only family knew how to do it. They had a Kabbalah. They had acceptance from the Torah, from Moshe Rabbeinu, I guess. Somebody that they were the only ones they knew how to do it, and nobody else could ever mimic it. It's not like China today. If you bring it to Chinese, probably today they'll know how to copy. They'll know how to copy it, right? This Chinese, they know how to copy everything. Baruch Hashem. Anyway, but the lechem panim, nobody could copy it. There was once a machloket in the Gemara. In Gemara time, there was once machloket when they were negotiating a payment from the Beit HaMikdash. They had to pay the Kohanim whatever it was for certain jobs that they did. So the family charged 10% increase. Like the economy, was not stable, so they decided to charge 10%. So the Chachamim came and said, "No, what's it? 10% increase? Nothing. We're not giving you an increase. The economy is on the red. You're going to take an increase." They said, "We want to increase." So they said, "No problem. Go away." All right. So there was a problem. Nobody knew how to do it. Nobody knew how to copy it. So they started negotiating with them. In the end, they got double the pay. They negotiated double the pay. So again, there's other things. There was many things, not just this. There's many. There was exclusive. There was exclusive things in Torah also. There was that. So what was the purpose? Why were they so machmir? They said we don't want to teach anybody because we don't want people to make mistakes. Because they knew already the Beit HaMikdash was coming to the end. They knew it. So there was a whole big machloket that they didn't want to teach anybody else. There was a big fight. Why they're not teaching anybody else? It's shayach today. We have this question: is employee allowed to, keep the information to himself and not share it because of fear that he's going to get fired? You have some kind of people like this, rashaim, the mamash rashaim. It's an evil act not to share the information you're being paid for. Your job you're being paid for. Not somebody tells me I hired the guy to do something for me. Rabbi, you told me only to distribute the kosher South Florida magazine. You never told me I have to report to you where I distribute it. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm paying you top-notch dollar, $50 an hour I'm paying him. I'm telling you, here's a paper I gave him with a pen. I told him, you drop off, you write down. He tells me, no, you never told me that. No, I'm not your secretary. I'm just doing drop-offs. I said, halas, but I have to know. He called me once, he says, some shuls are not even on the list. They're meaning on the list, but they don't exist. So I told the guy, give me the information. That's the point. I'm paying you. Start playing games with me. So I feel bad yesterday. I was supposed to pay him yesterday. I said, we'll finish the job. And part of your job is bring me a report. That's why I gave you 4 pages. Okay, I'll come and use that. I said, okay, do me a favor. I'm ready to pay you. He thinks I don't want to pay him. I have all the money. I paid it that I already have. Up front, I pay always, I make sure the people feel comfortable. It's very important to share. You know information. You're actually being paid that money because the owner wants it. And that belongs to the owner. Wherever a person pays you, it belongs to him. Every penny that he pays you, all the information related to the business, the job, belongs to the owner. You're not his partner. You're not in his business. Chas v'shalom. You must know, the owner must know everything, and you must share with him every detail. When I worked, and I ran a yeshiva, I'll talk about 500. When I left, I'm telling you, the next guy who was sitting in my shoes, he knew all 560 parents, everything about them. Everything was in notes, everything detailed. That's how it's supposed to work. It's not, I'm going to get fired tomorrow, and then I'm not going to have a job, and I have to have a job security. Therefore, I have to hold a hostage the boss. Chas v'shalom. What kind of nonsense is this? Anyway, this is just we took a little on a tangent. Mitzvah is like this. La'asim bebet hamikdash lefnei Hashem lechem tamid. What's the purpose of this? It says that there has a mitzvah that you must do this lechem panim. There's double-sided bread. However, it was baked. It somehow came on both sides, the blowing up or whatever it is, like the face of it. And that's why on Shabbat, what do? We take a chalot or we take a pitot, and we put the top part on the both sides, right? That according to Kabbalah, right? According to Ben Ish Chai, he says, so you have one. Let's say you have a bulkala or whatever, you have pita. So you put the back of the pitas, the bottom of the pitas facing each other, and the face of them facing out. That's what we do on Shabbat. The purpose is to lechem eparim, to mimic lechem eparim. And then we make a bracha and make sure it's like this. On Friday night, you make a bracha with your 10 fingers on the bread. That's part of the mitzvah. You make a bracha, and then you flip it, right? And the bottom one is what you're going to be taking a bite of. Okay? That's on Friday night. Probably on Shabbat morning, you don't flip it, you keep it like this, and the top one is the one that you're making bracha, and the top one is what you're going to be biting from. That's the way according to Ben Ish Chai. So again, we're mimicking lechem epanim, and the Sudash Lashid, those who that Baruch Hashem eat Sudash Lashid.
So if we have the bread like 2 pieces of bread,
not like that, like this, lechem epanim, not sideways. It has to be this way. No, this way. The face is here and the face in the bottom.
Okay.
Okay.
So now, but it's still elevated a little bit from each other. It's not perfect straight like this. One bread is elevated from the other, right? If I have a piece of bread here, a piece of bread here, you don't put them flat together like this.
Flat together, yeah.
Isn't one elevated above?
I don't know. I didn't learn that part.
No, I think elevated. I think it means higher than the other.
Higher than the other.
They're sticking,
right?
but one's a little higher.
No, I don't know. That part I didn't learn. The way we did it is like this. My rabbi did me. They tap like lechem epanim. They have to mimic epanim.
Okay. Second thing.
Yeah.
Here's the top. Here's the bottom. We say the bracha from the top.
Why are you holding it like this? I told you not to hold like this.
Wait, hold on. For the sake of this conversation.
For the sake of your conversation or the way of our conversation?
Louise. Can't get anywhere with this guy. Listen. This is the top of the bread. This is the bottom of the bread. We say the bracha.
Yeah.
We're taking from the bottom to eat, or we're taking from the top to eat?
Chacham again. Here's a pita. And here's your second pita. Sorry, my hand is not so good here. Right? So both of them have a face. This is what I'm talking about. This is how you're supposed to put it. You understand?
That's according to your rabbi.
No, according to Ben Ish Chai also.
Ben Ish Chai, okay.
So you have, the top is here, and the top is there. And they're both facing each other. Yes. Not one top like this, one like this. Yes, according to you, 6 Kabbalah. We're talking about right now, you have only 2. Yes, 12 is the best thing. But right now, you have 2, right? Most people have only 2 at home. They can't afford all 12 challahs. If they can, it's good for them. And there's different ways to do it. But here, this is what we do. You have 10 fingers, right? 5 fingers on the top, 5 on the bottom. This is what you do. You make a bracha. On Friday night, you flip it, and you eat from the bottom one. Salt, eat it. Okay? You rip off a piece, whatever it is, no problem. On Shabbat morning, you eat from the top one. Sudash Lishit, you eat from the bottom one again. Okay? Finish. Case closed. Now, why do we need to bring Lechem Epanim in the Beit HaMikdash? Why? So the rabbi says like this. First of all, it says in Shemot, 25th chapter, Pasuk Lamed. I didn't appreciate the fact that you're not getting nowhere with me, because it's not true. If I didn't get nowhere with me, why are you coming here for months already to learn? Okay, he wakes me up at 5 o'clock in the morning to come to learn, and then he tells me he ain't getting nowhere. That's not nice.
Rabbi, he asked a question.
Yeah.
When you hold the challah, you finish the bracha,
Yeah.
you take from the bread. This
Flip
one,
it and you flip the bottom,
here
Friday night.
Or from this side.
No,
That's
I
what he
don't.
means.
No.
Take a piece from this side or this side. That's what he wants
No,
to
we
know.
said 2 days ago.
But that's
Maybe he
what I was
wasn't here
asking.
yesterday.
That's what he asked.
What did we say yesterday? You take from the hardest part, from the most.
Both of them are hard parts.
No. So you take from
When you
whatever
take
is the
challah,
hardest.
Both sides are hard.
Whatever is the hardest, that's the part you make the hamotz. You bite from and you dip it in the salt.
We're
That's the
going
one
to
you
call it
bite.
tomorrow for a demo and bring some food. We'll have a little breakfast.
I have no problem with herring. With somebody sponsoring. Somebody's what? I hear somebody sponsoring herring with pitas. Anyway, now Baruch Hashem. Now it says let's on halacha. So the mitzvah is 97 that says you should always have this lechem panim. It says in Shemot 25th chapter, Pasuk Lamed, Natata al shulchan lechem panim lifnei tamid. You should put on the shulchan, on this table, the bread double faced always. What is the mitzvah? What's the purpose of this mitzvah? It's out of this world. Hashem needs your bread. Hashem doesn't need it. Who eats this bread, by the way? Anybody knows? The Kohanim. Remember we spoke about it once? The Kohanim, at the end of the Mishmar, they take the bread, the ones that are leaving, they take the bread and they eat from it. And it makes them wealthy and the whole thing, bracha. What is the purpose of this mitzvah out of this world? The Rabbi says over here, the purpose of this mitzvah is because we know Hashem doesn't need it and we do it. You hear what's going on here? And you do it with all the tla'avut and you do it with all the heart. And imagine your master doesn't need something and you do it for him. After a while, you lose the desire to do it. He doesn't need it anyway. Who cares if it's this amount of spices? Does it have this much salt, this much sugar? Who cares? The master doesn't need it anyway. Right? No. That's the whole point. You know why we're doing this mitzvah? Hashem wants to give us bracha. He wants to give us bracha. He wants to see how we do things even when he doesn't need something. You hear the beauty of this? He doesn't need it. So what's your itla'avut? What is your desire to make Hashem happy? Knowing that Hashem is not going to eat for it. And what's your level? How are you going to fulfill the mitzvah? And this is what Hashem uses to go against Satan. Remember, Kol yoladim namut. Everyone who is born here to die. How is that possible? The Satan is whole day mekatrek. Kill those people. That's the only way. Whoever is born must die. So how does it happen? From the moment a person is born, he is being pushed by Satan. Hashem, kill this person. Hashem says, wait, you'll see. You see, wait a little bit. Hashem pushes off the Satan constantly. Pushes him on. What is a concern to us? How are we going to perform the mitzvah? People don't understand. People think that we get punished because of our averot. Lo yachpotz v'met harasha. It's not true. Whoever taught you this nonsense, it's not true. The biggest suffering that the Jews have is by performing the mitzvot not happy. As it says in the pasuk clearly, Hashem says in the parashat Kitavo, 98 blessings the Jewish nation is blessed. 98 blessings. We're talking, you know what I mean, right? Doesn't mean blessed, the other way around. And it says at the end, why are all those blessings come on the Jewish nation? For one purpose. When they put on tefillin, they don't say, Lehoniach tefillin, with a geschmack, with a zest, with a feeling, I'm happy. Can you imagine? I have a person I learned with over here, Tzaddik. 8 billion people don't know what tefillin is. 8 billion people in the world. They don't know what tefillin is. And we are zocheh to put on tefillin. If you think like this for a second before you do any mitzvah, 8 billion people don't know what mitzvah learning is. Right now we're sitting over here and they're learning mitzvah number 97. No, you know how many people in the world? They don't not privy to that kind of information? What's the Rabbi, big deal. So what we're learning mitzvot? 95? Mitzvah, we got it in mitzvah 97? What is it? You're sitting over here and you're privy to that information and you're not happy? You're not elated? You could leave in the middle, you could run away to go to work? This is what causes us problems. We don't understand. We think if we're going to go outside, we're going to see a naked girl, oh, wow, and I'm going to look again. That's the biggest Averah in the world. Of course it's an Averah. But the biggest Averah Hashem hates is doing mitzvot, not being elated about it. And this is this mitzvah that doesn't make sense at all to us today. Specifically, we don't have lechem panim. You have a mitzvah today, lechem panim. Alevashi niskeh, the Kohen ran away. Come on, what it is? You're to be elevated. You're supposed to do a mitzvah, all your mitzvah, not just lechem panim. Whatever you do, you come to shul, you're zocheh. There's shiurim at night. There's a seder at night. You come in. It's a privilege. People I'm begging them to learn. Come to learn. It's your privilege to come to learn. What do you think? I'm here. I'm just here because I'm a yo-yo. I have nothing else to do, so I'm driving everybody crazy. But it's a privilege for all of us, and that's what makes us judge. That's how we're judged. Are you doing things because of habit, because of convenience, or you go out of your way? As Rabbi Button always says, you're supposed to have a shul outside of your community, not just come out of the house and you go because of convenience. You daven. You walk outside of your community to show to Hashem that that's what you're interested in. And this is what this mitzvah is of Hashem, lechem apanim, that has nothing to do with us. It's only Kohanim. This mitzvah is only Kohanim, the Rabbi says here, and not women Kohanim. Only males Kohanim are allowed to do this mitzvah. And it has nothing to do, and we ain't going to be able to do it, most probably in our lives ever, who knows? Depends on the Pirush, how you explain, whether Korach will be Kohen Gadol, whatever. Still, that right now, this is the concept, is to show us that when we do mitzvot, we have to be mitla'ev. We have to be elated and doing it with a big zest, excitement. That's right. And the same excitement you did it the first time. Imagine when you put on the tefillin the first time. Huh? Imagine you took out the siddur the first time. This is what you're supposed to do every time the first time. Hayom. The Torah tells us always, today. What is today? The same thing that you felt the first day, that's how you feel till the last day of your life. Till 120, and this is what we're judging. This is how we'll get only all the suffering, Shalom. That's the main thing we suffer. If not the rest, Averot, you could do always tshuva. Hashem always waits. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years before the guy gets punished. Let him do tshuva. But the biggest avera is not being excited when we do mitzvot. Mitzvah number 98. Mitzvat arichat nerot hamikdash. Same thing over here. Now, we have a mitzvah of nerot. So you might say, okay, nerot gives a light and everything. No, maybe HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a na'ah as a Torah or the mitzvah, right? The whole thing. Sits here like this. Le'ativ nerot tamid l'pnei Hashem itbarach. We must light candles before Hashem. As it says over there in chapter 27 in Shmot, Pasuk Chavav, 21st Pasuk, Yaroch oto Aaron ubanav, it has to be Aaron and his children. Klomar, Yaroch haner lifnei Hashem itbarach. We are must obligated to light a candle before Hashem, blessed be He. Vezeu mitzvat atavat nerot anizkeret beGemara. As the Gemara tells us, this was a special mitzvah that was done with preparing candles and lighting the candles. So now we're going to see, it's even mutar to break Shabbat, and we'll see. Mitzvah mitzvah. We are the foundation of this mitzvah. So, shetzivanu Hashem barach liyot ner doleg bebet HaKodesh legadel abayit lechvot u'tiferet beinei haroim. Constantly there should be fire in the Bet HaMikdash. For what purpose? That whoever sees it should have the chashivut, the importance of this house constantly. Ki ken derech b'nei ish litchabed bebetem benirot dolkin. What is the most people see? The house. People like to put lights all over the house at night, right? Elevated. Or what is this? What do they call that in Empire State Building? Every now and so they change the lights. They put green lights. They put the red lights, right? Every time. The occasion, right? The chashivut, the importance. People value things that are laid up at night, especially, right? The importance. So right now, all the Christians are doing right now at the time of Christmas. What do they do with all those things? What are they doing? Put up lights all over the house. Oh, the most important thing for them. This is the most no, and all the time with all the craziness. This light, that light, this flashlight, this light. Oh, Shem Rachem. Look at my by the hotel I live by, right? You see that craziness? I don't know how much money you pay for that thing. There's a light going at least maybe 2,000 feet up. You see that? You could see it all over, right? The guitar, and it shines, the whole thing. That's a chashivut. People value things that are brightened up. Same thing. We want to instill in us that the Mikdash, not that we want to mimic them. People don't understand. They're actually mimicking us everything. Yeah? They're actually doing everything, whatever we did, whatever we have in our chashivut. So on their garbage, they're putting in the hotels and the casinos over there, on those Empire State Buildings, all those houses and the holidays they light up. They're trying to mimic us because that's what the Torah tells you. Mitzvah number 98, to put up lights, and therefore we know that the goyim are constantly copying us to chas v'shalom, to think kiviyachol that they're better, as they say. That why the goyim are more successful in their zealousy. The prophet says that a goy, Hashem had a ta'ana against us. What was the ta'ana? Hashem was upset with us. Is that the goy would remember a special occasion and he would correspond it to the day of sacrifice. Yeah, he would correspond it, meaning that they would praise praise their certain memories, and they would always put it on the day of this ceremony, that ceremony. If you watch Indian movie, they always talk about all this, like, on that day of this holy day, this. So Hashem says, you Jews, I don't understand you. That was a ta'ana. The ta'ana against the Jews was that it was the korbanot, the sacrifices, and the menorah was already, okay, we're doing it. So Hashem says, when you're just doing things, I don't need this anymore. That's not the point. The point is you have to reignite it constantly when you're doing the mitzvot, when you're doing the Bet HaMikdash. And that was one of the ta'anot in the Gemara. They found Kohanim who already compared korbanot to wolves. The altar is eating like they said, a daughter of a big Kohen. She said, when is this wolf going to eat? A wolf. Meaning that the Mizbeach became already a wolf, the altar. They related to the, Kelach Hariyat, not so important. Rahman al-Islam. And that is what caused the destruction of Bet HaMikdash. We didn't value it. So now, for the past 2,000 years, how much value? Now the only problem is how do you get everybody together now? How do you get everybody to agree that this is what Hashem wants? That is a big task. That is a big involvement with Hashem. And that's what Hashem, not Mistama, Hashem has a big problem now. Hashem is not going to force us to accept everybody's opinions, but somehow we all have to combine, and we all have to agree, and B'ezrat Hashem. And maybe that's one of the reasons why we're all mixed up over here. What is this? All of a sudden Hashem made this America, this Mishugas. Everybody's come together, all the immigrants, and everybody has to get together alone, right? So you have Ashkenazim, Sfaradim, and in Ashkenazim you have 20 different sects. Sfaradim you have another 36, and in Hasidish, and this. Oh yeah, Shem Yerachem Aleinu. You have so much mishkabubul, but somehow through the mitzvot, through the ahava of mitzvot, and through the zed, Hashem is not going to look at all our mishkabubuls. What he's going to look at? He's going to look at how every sect is actually excited about doing mitzvot, and I believe maybe that's what's going to happen as Hashem bring the Mashiach. Let's thank all the people who are assisting us to come and learn over here. And B'ezrat Hashem, Yeshivat Shalom Bayit. This is what the point is. Come here to learn, and we're going to have Shalom Bayit. Now we're going to continue with B'ezrat Hashem next shiur on halachot, starting in 30 seconds. B'ezrat Hashem.